The question on the minds of a lot of people is whether popular social media person Abu Trica is actually under the radar of the FBI. The FBI has been in Ghana for a couple of years now, and they've been doing their own investigation. So we are trying to understand if there's a connection, whether the rumors are true, and try to understand whether Abu Trica is actually a person of interest or is just rumor. Now, the FBI has been operating in Ghana since 2023. The only reason why we are hearing about the FBI's operation in Ghana now is because there's a new government in power. Now, a new government comes into power, and through the Ministry of Interior and also the Forest Affairs Ministry, they are able to liaise with the FBI and other, connected security agencies, and they've been able to, issue some arrest in Ghana. Now, ordinarily, the FBI arrests people when they travel into the United States of America after they've committed a crime. But the guys that they were pursuing, or the people they were pursuing, were so wise that they were not traveling into the United States of America. So they had to bring the investigation here and come for themselves. The FBI has made some key arrests already. They've arrested Dadajoe. In March, we heard the news about Dadajoe's arrest, and Dadajoe is also a perceived businessman who is very, very big on social media. They also arrested Kofi Boat. And so recently, a lot of people did not know Kofi Boat, but he's also a perceived businessman. And then there's a third person who is called Agony or Pacal. He has a Muslim name, I think Inusa or something like that, right? So he was also arrested. So the arrest of Hajia for actually opened up a kind of worms about what was really happening in Ghana. Ordinarily, if you're arrested for 2 million romance scam, you need to go to prison for at least 10 to 15 years in the United States of America. But Hajia was able to get just a year or maybe less than that, right? And she was able to come back to Ghana without any problem at all, because probably, she gave out some names, or she probably said something that the FBI thought that was very, very valuable to their investigations, and they had to follow up and come to Ghana. Something deeper could be going on in Ghana. There could be a cartel, there could be some kingpins, and Hajia Fori was just the face of all that, right? So we believe that there are others behind them who are actually the big men, the chairmen, the odogus, right? And most of them are not even known on social media at all, but they are the ones actually controlling the affairs. Now, there's a belief that there are some Nigerians in Ghana who actually are into the business, right? And for them, they are off the radar, as in you don't even see them on social media at all. They don't do anything on social media, but they are the ones, and they're the brains and the masterminds behind most of the big fraud that actually happens, the big money, big tickets, big stuff. And the reason why Abu Trica could actually come under, some sort of investigation by the FBI is probably because of the cars he buys. Now, recently he bought a lot of cars, Lamborghini, Cybertruck. According to research, Ghana has become sort of a port for the arrival of stolen cars from the United States of America. If they could actually go for Shatawale for a stolen vehicle, then there's a high likelihood that they could actually investigate Abu Trica for some of the vehicles that he has purchased. They are not going to say he has stolen them, right? But they are going to investigate the authenticity, and probably that could be a reason why Abu Trica could actually come in under investigation. Now, Abu Trica could actually come under investigation because of the flaunting of wealth on social media. Now, I told you in my other videos that there are some group of people that the FBI will be investigating unknowingly, right? For them, they will not make it publicly. They will not try to make noise about it. It's just coded operation, right? Abu Trica is actually known as one of the guys who actually flaunt a lot of wealth on social media. His properties, his cars, his mansion, and everything that has to do with him, right? So if you do that, if you flaunt cash and if you flaunt wealth on social media, and they look at the kind of lifestyle you're living, and they believe that you could actually be a person of interest, they'll come for you and investigate. And they've arrested some people already. Apart from them, there are people in Ghana who actually feed the FBI and security agencies with information. Now, somebody who knows Abu Trica's dealings, or what Abu Trica does, or somebody who just wants to make him be in a very tight corner, could actually go there and go and be like, oh, Charlie, I have information on my Abu Trica. I believe, say, the cars they buy and everything they purchase not be true. So I feel they make you people investigate. And so snitches or independent whistleblowers could actually give out information to the FBI and investigate Abu Trica just for probably just hate or out of curiosity, or it could be any kind of motivation that's actually pushing the people to do that, right? Now, what can Abu Trica do? The best Abu Trica can do is to go low-key. But he cannot go low-key at this point in time because he has already been high-key for a very, very long time. And he has actually painted some kind of lifestyle to the public, right? So he needs to maintain that demeanor, that personality. If he goes low-key, right, now people will think he's going low-key because he's scared of the FBI. If he does not go low-key to his lifestyle is actually pushing the FBI to actually investigate him, whether he likes it or not. And probably because they feel he's connected to some of the people that they've arrested already, and the kind of conversations they're having with them is actually push them to actually kind of trace, certain things to Abu Trica based on perceptions and some of the things that the people say to them, right? Already there's a general perception about Abu Trica and the fact that people believe that his money and his source of wealth will actually be coming from dubious means. People who actually volunteer information to the FBI. 2025 September is going to be a month where there's going to be a very huge expose on certain people that the FBI will actually bring out, and it will shake the internet and it will shake the continent. Right? A lot of people believe that it will actually be Abu Trica, but I'm telling you on authority that some of the big fishes are not as popular as Abu Trica. People are talking about Abu Trica because of how he lives his life, right? But there are people who are actually doing certain things that are not actually visible on the internet. And those are the guys who are actually running the things. They're actually running the whole machine. So those are the guys where they fit drop them my name, it go bust them. Everybody's mind is on Abu Trica. But I'm telling you in authority that the kind of people that will mention, it will not probably even be about Abu Trica, and it will actually be about people who have already been in power and out of power, who are actually heading some institutions and who were playing some vital role in the previous government and all that. Those are the people that they could actually mention. Now they could actually also mention people who own clubs. There are some top club owners in Ghana here who the FBI believes that they use their place to wash money. They are into money laundering. They could actually be going after those club owners if they believe that anything of that sort, as far as money laundering and cybercrime is concerned, if those places have become spots for money laundering. Some of the names will also be coming from people who have been making transit to Abu Dhabi. Now Dubai is believed to become a transit point, or a point where a lot of the fraud boys or the guys who are perceived to be internet or cyber fraudsters go to actually hide, right? So some of them, they hide there and they come across as they are doing business there. They have connections with some of the sheikhs, they have properties there and all that. So some of the people that the FBI will be dropping their names in the month of September wouldn't actually be the Abu Trica that Now they'll also be picking guys that they believe are linked to the guys that they've arrested already. Now these three guys, Dadajoe, Kofi Boat, and the Pacal guy, if they believe that you are a guy who is linked to them, you will be picked up in the BAB. So if you've done business with them, you've abetted or helped them to actually commit crime on the internet, you'll find yourself once. If you help them as a politician, as someone who had power to influence decisions and to pave the way for them to commit crime, they also be in a very, very difficult situation. Some people are mentioning Abu Trica. They are mentioning Abu Trica because of the kind of perception they have about him and the fact that he could actually be linked to some of those guys. We don't have any concrete evidence to actually back that. It's just perception about the person I'm talking about. What the fraud boys are doing right now is, when the FBI came into Ghana, some of them have fled to Tamale. That's what we know. That is where they are hiding. So it's more like a haven for them. Some fraud boys have actually relocated to Benin. I don't know what is there. Maybe because they are going for some juju or agbalagba, or it's a place that they can hide there. I don't fucking know. And some of them too are looking for ways to enter into Russia. Russia is actually a no-go area when it comes to Interpol and the FBI operating in other countries. If you're able to get into Russia, you are safe. See, I'm not trying to condone crime or anything, but see, these fraud boys, they contribute a lot to the economy. They have disposable income. They spend a lot. They help the economy to grow. Most of them, they ship Apple products into the country to sell, to actually help a lot of people to actually use for. Most people, if not for these fraud boys, they wouldn't even have the luxury of using iPhones. These guys who have even been picked up, the three guys, they have a lot of business that have employed a lot of people. A lot of people depend on them, right? So the arrest will actually ultimately lead to probably the closure of their businesses, because the FBI will actually close their business if they think it is linked to them and other stuff. So livelihoods will be affected, people will lose their jobs and all that, right? So I personally believe that it is going to cripple the economy in some way. For now, there's no facts to back the fact that Abu Trica is actually under the investigation of the FBI. It's just based on rumor and speculation and perception. Perception is driving why a lot of people believe that Abu Trica could actually be a person of interest, or even, a suspect.